right, welcome back, everybody, to the Pros Talk. I'm your host, Dave Annable, with Ontario Approved Professionals, and I've got Gauri Shankar here with me. How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's been, I think, a lot of poking. Come on. And even so, like, to backtrack to when you and I met, I know Dan Beatty did a lot of the intro, I think, between us, and he razzed me for, God, it had to be almost a year. He's like, you and Gauri will hit it off. You're the exact same, and sarcasms and funny and outlook in life and all this other stuff. And he's like, you got to get him in the group. And then we met at the, you're running for councilor.
Running for town council, and it was, you guys were sponsoring it. Yeah. So I met you that way, and I remember seeing the table full of, you have a little summary on each person that's in your Ontario approved program, or I think it was Leeds and Grenville approved at that point.
Yeah, we were in Ontario yet.
We're in Ontario. And I'm reading through the profiles and going, oh, I know that person. I deal with them. And then so I think after that debate,
yeah,
I said, Dave, how do I join your group?
Yeah, you came up to me that night and you were like, okay, hang on. Yeah. There's some competitors happening here.
Yeah, we got to get in on that.
We got to get in on that. You got to promote me. So, no, that's good. So how's councilor life been? I mean, I know I talk a lot about councilors that they never signed up for this, crap show that we've went through for the past 18 months. Yeah. But all in all, has it been what you expected?
It's probably been better than I expected. COVID aside, like council itself, like I was a little worried about taking on that councilor position just because I'm in the public eye a lot. Yeah. Like I have full-time practice in Prescott, and people, we have a small town atmosphere in the practice. It's not pushy, it's very casual, and I was a little worried that Mr. and Mrs. Smith would want to talk about their missing cat or their neighbor's cat or the garbage. So it's worked out very well. People are very respectful that way. Every now and then I'll get that, oh, by the way, and it's fine,
Yeah, my street hasn't been paved yet.
Yeah. When are you paving my street?
Yeah.
Like, how are your taxes? Let's talk taxes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so people are very good that way. I mean, I do get some interesting questions some days, and I smile a lot, and
smile and wave. That's the political way.
And the famous political line is, I'll look into it, but I actually do look into it. So, and I try and get back to people. I had a nice request this week. There was a gentleman who lost his teenage daughter, and he was looking for see if somehow we could accommodate him. The bench that like the last few days of her life, they would go to this certain bench overlooking our beautiful waterfront in Prescott. And he says, Gauri, is there any chance I can buy that bench? I want to take it to my house. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it because, and I said, I will definitely look into it. So we make a few calls, talk to my CAO, talk to Ed about it, and we're going to do it. We're going to gift it to him. Now, I don't want to promote that we're going to do that with everybody, but just a little thing where, instead of saying no, the easy answer is no. But
it's that one little thing that, you're not... I love to hear stories like that because it's not about a vote.
No.
It's not about PR. It's not about the town. It's not about the citizen. It's about that one person, that teenager.
Exactly.
And we're all dads.
Yeah, and he felt comfortable coming to me, which I was appreciative of, and I know him just from town, and he said, can I ask a favor, or like not even a favor, just like out of the kindness of your heart, and it's like, yeah, we'll look into that. And that's the kind of things that I think people don't see about politicians. They only see he raised my taxes 1%.
Well, that media thing, we're learning all too well that it's more negative than it is positive. You could jump in front of a train and stop it to save that bench. Mm-hmm. They may not cover that.
No.
But the fact that a cat got hit by the train when you pushed it off to the side, that's what's going to be written about.
Exactly. Right? It's all in the way it's presented. So, there's some good parts about it. Where we can help people and where we've made changes, and Prescott's doing very well.
Prescott's one of those towns that I always promote. My family is from there.
Okay.
Like the Annable family name is deep in Prescott. Mm-hmm. I'm just in Augusta, but it's one of those towns that I think for about 3 years now I've been saying it's gonna boom. It's gonna boom, but it's just COVID, infrastructure, deals, grant money. Then we hear, I think the big kicker the kickoff is this rink.
Yes.
I mean, we're
That's
there.
huge.
That was through COVID, hit the mark, got the funding, and Judy and Dave have been doing a stellar job. I think I spoke 2 podcasts ago about Judy. Like, most people don't even know who she is. This woman, she's a rock star.
She's a rock star in the fundraising community.
Everywhere I go, I seem to find her name.
And it's hard to say no to Judy.
Oh, you can't.
I haven't been able to say no. I mean, even I signed up for a big picture in the rink for $20,000. You know.
Are you keeping the wedding photo?
I got to talk to the supplier and see if I can.
I think the guys at the Boynton Center still have it.
They have it. I was there for a meeting one day last year, and all the boys were there, and I'm like, what are you guys all doing here? They're all got that silly grin on their face, and I'm like, uh-oh, something's up. And so I think we were there. We were just thanking the boys. We were having a pizza thing. And I look over in the corner, and there's my picture from that I had at the rink, and they've blacked out, obviously, the teeth, you know, so I look like I'm missing teeth and a black eye. And
true hockey player.
Gaming away, right? And I'm like, did you guys do that? Oh, no, we don't know what happened. Oh, yeah, okay. But
Well, I think when you hang something like that and it's on city property and you become a councillor or the key citizen, right? Like, grew up with the rink and played hockey and have a kid playing hockey. Yeah, you're gonna get it.
You're fair game.
Yeah, that's not going in the dumpster ever.
No. So someone's probably got that as a dartboard.
Your wife's gonna pull it out at your 90th birthday. Just this billboard's gonna show you. You'll be like, "Come on!"
Oh, I thought I got rid of that.
But no, so like I looked into getting some bricks and all that stuff, and then I've heard that it's pretty much everything sold out.
I think we had 250 bricks, and about a week ago we were down to like 30 bricks remaining. You know, the bricks are a nice little tribute because they're $100. You get your name on a plaque. Yeah. You know, it's there for life. Yeah. Right? And you know, we've got $500,000 naming rights, $100 bricks, and everything in between.
And I think that was key because you do have some, you know, staple businesses in the Prescott and Augusta community that would have, you know, the big dollars to sponsor. But I'm glad to see a fundraiser that $100.
You want to do a lemonade
exactly,
stand and you want to contribute, you know, some money towards it. Boom, here's your brick.
Yeah, but even through a pandemic, some people may not have the advertising budget that they used to have, but they still want to be a key component of it. And maybe they volunteered at the hot dog stand or at the canteen growing up, and they just want their name there or a dedication. Yeah, I think it's cool to see fundraisers that are within reach of all ranges of business.
And in a small town, right? In a small town, you feel like your $100, $100,000, doesn't matter. It's all part of that rink. Yeah. You are part of that rink.
100%.
You own part of it. You know?
From ground up.
I know that, like, some of my friends may say, "Oh, you just got that from the government, the money." Yeah, but there was a lot of work that went into getting that from the government.
I spoke to Judy and Dave Beatty that, like, these guys grinded to get the grant money that they have. And then they had to hit benchmarks for money as well through a pandemic, or else it was all for naught.
And that was the beauty of Judy and Dave. Like, when we handed in our application, we said we've already raised $2.5 million, and I think that really swayed the committee because they look at, here's a town of 5,000 or less. You know, yes, we had cooperation with Augusta Township. So it's more for the community, and it is. We're a hub. We're a hub for all of Leeds Grenville. Yeah. But to be able to say, look, we've already dog marked or earmarked 2.5 million with a hope to get 3.5. Hey, let's do it.
It's almost like a meet us halfway bid, right? Whereas you're like, we might raise $3 million, but can we have money? Compared to we have it.
We've already got it.
Yeah, you know? Like, we're just waiting on you now.
And I mean, one of the big things is Prescott has built a lot of big projects. We did the fire hall. We did the park in front of the Mariners Club. Yeah. Big dollar items, you know, and splash pad. We had Trillium funding for that, but you just can't keep going into that. And what our council had decided was, unless we get this grant, which was almost $10 million, we can't. Unless we get the grant, we cannot provide a rink. We just can't afford it. We'll be paying for, a $15 million ring. What people don't understand is a $15 million ring today costs you $30 million by the time you pay it off. And I said, we can't afford that.
Well, and can the community afford it, right? Because that's the second part, is what levies are going to be put into place, what tax rates are going to be implicated, is there a user fee, or you don't want to have the citizens fundraise for it and then have the citizens defer payments for the next 30 years in taxes. And I'll tell you, in my day job as an architect, I have the pleasure of seeing a lot of these projects. So I was actually printing the plans for the project this morning for people to bid, and I think you guys got it right.
Good.
I'll give kudos to the designers. I know it goes. What do you have? You have like an engineer of record that does it for the town, and it looks good.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful ring.
It's big.
It's very big, and it's kind of profiled after the Smith Falls ring.
Yes.
I say it's the Smith Falls is a Cadillac rink. We're more of a Toyota, but we're still. No offense. Oh, I should say Riverside. We're more of a Pontiac. But it's.
I think GM and Toyota are part of the organization, the approved professionals, so we can down talk the other ones. We can down talk Cadillac all we want. They're not members.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's gonna be really nice. There's room for expansion. There's room for a second rink if we want. We're gonna.
Yeah. What was the judgment call on not doing the second rink? Because I see that as an error.
Yeah.
I've always said first one to twin pads wins.
Yeah, there was a lot of debate. You're looking at probably another 8 to 10 million for a twin pad, and to be honest,
so 2 weeks with Judy.
Hey Judy, get on that, right? But at the time there was still a Spencerville rink. There's still a brand new rink in Cardinal. Would there be utilization? It's very easy for the public to say, oh yeah, we'd rent it out for sure, but without having a rink for 3 years and the loss of some of the men's clubs, the people from Kempville coming down, Brockville Angels, then they start to go elsewhere. So we've kind of left the door open that if we need in the future, we can build. But let's get this under our belt now and move forward.
Yeah, because midget AA's got to come back.
Oh, there's going to be some fun stuff. We're going to push. I don't want to say we're going to push to have that all-year facility, So, summer hockey tournaments, a place to go skate during the summer to cool down.
Yeah.
And it's open to everyone. There's going to be a walking track. We're going to make a recreational complex around it. You're going to have soccer fields, baseball fields.
A lot of stuff that's missing.
Yeah, and it's all in one location. There'll be lots of parking.
No, it's in Kirkby Field, right?
Yeah, it's going to be around
like near the
Kirkby
RCA.
Field.
Yeah, because that Kirkby Field. I grew up playing ball there. Loyalist Field in by Toshack's. And Kirkby Field.
And so what we're doing right now is the Kirkby Field is going to become a dog park.
Okay.
Just a temporary dog park, just because we're going to start construction.
Yeah, you're going to be ripping it all up.
Shoveling the ground by July. So I had to call the Kirkbys and say, by the way, look, we're not getting rid of the Chick Kirkby Field, but we're just using it right now for this, and we're going to rebuild it and rename it the Chick Kirkby Field in the future, in and around there.
Because that's one thing with Prescott in a small town, you can't mess with stuff.
No,
so it's going to be the Chick Kirkby Field. I'm 44 now.
Yeah.
So we're talking 30 years ago I played ball in that field with that name, and there's no way in heck that you can rename that field.
No, and we wouldn't even try.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know the Loyalist Field exists.
Yeah.
Because you got to go in through Toshack's.
That's the one.
It's
on the
in
other side.
between the overpass and Toshack's. You have to
You have to look for it.
You
don't want to be a visiting team trying to find it.
No. Oh, we had a few games postponed and we automatic win because they didn't show up. They had lost. They didn't know where it was. That's exactly home hidden advantage.
But yeah, it's gonna be lovely. And we negotiated, and again the committee was the fundraising committee was such a big help. We had negotiated to buy the land from Kriska, and that worked out great. Mark Seymour's a true ambassador for the town of Prescott. And then they came in, Judy and Dave, and said, hey, why don't we get them to donate the land, So they ended up donating land, but we're gonna we're going to honor them by calling the whole area Criska Recreational Complex.
That's cool.
Which is very cool because it's right there.
Literally the whole street.
The whole street. So, and you're going to see a ripple effect. You might see an extension of Churchill Road over to Merwin Lane.
Yeah.
And once that happens, then the door opens up to, in your line of work.
Oh, it already has.
Let's get a subdivision going.
Oh, it already has. The north side of the 401.
Yeah.
The second you guys break services over there,
yeah.
Like these developers are getting ready. They've been ready, but I've got 2 right now on opposite sides of 18 that are raring. We are working on development plans right now.
That's exciting.
It is, and some of them tiptoe into Augusta, but they know that relationship's being built too.
Yeah.
So, what's a little bit about that? Like how you're on the committee for the Augusta Prescott?
Yeah, so I'm on the committee along with Mayor Brett Todd and Deputy Mayor Jeff Shaver and Mayor Doug Malenka.
Yeah.
The 4 of us and our 2 CAOs. We meet once a month, and we're talking about saving money. Right, working together to save money. So, for example, we lent our street sweeper to the town of Augusta. So they've got the town of Prescott, municipality of Augusta. They got the town of Prescott sweeper going through their little streets. And,
it's like paid advertising.
Yeah, but we sent. I think we may have sent our guy to do it as well. But then they're lending us their street grader for like Boundary Road and Highway.
Oh, that's cool.
And stuff like that. So it's a little, if they were to go rent a sweeper, they're going to pay thousands of dollars.
Yep.
We're going to rent a grader. We're going to do the same. We're intertwining using building officials,
yep.
working together. We've got the same program now that all the reports I've read is that it saves so much time, so much.
So that's the cloud permit?
I think so.
Yeah. It started in Ottawa and Kingston, and I know it's made its way to Brockville, and I think Karen at Augusta is using it.
Yeah,
so I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've, then it's so, like, from what Sean Merriman tells me, is like, before I'd have to go back to the office, get on the computer, check and see it. Yeah. Like an encyclopedia for us.
That's the architecture world. We are archaic. It's literally a million stone slats carved with the chisel.
So that's working very well together, and we're doing some economic development together where we're trying to promote each other. And today there was a lot of talk about a bike path, paving the shoulders of Highway 2, and us doing the same between like Boundary Street and heading out towards New Wexford to promote cyclers coming to town. It's bicycling, the green, the environmental. It's a big thing nowadays, and there's a lot of tourism that occurs with cyclers. We had a group come through where there was 300-400 of them cycled right through Prescott. They stopped to get a drink or they stopped to get a bite to eat. It's great for the community, and you've probably noticed, and our viewers have probably noticed that the speed limits have come down. Like Prescott went to 40 kilometer, all for safety. A lot of I catch a lot of flack on that, like, oh, Gauri, why would you go to 40 kilometers? And I said, it's all about safety.
100%.
There was a report that the slower you drive, the less accidents are going to happen. Why wait until an accident happens and then lower it? Let's be proactive. Is it inconvenient? Does it take an extra minute to get to work? Yeah, maybe. But hey.
Probably pays for a little bit of the rink too, because the few extra tickets that helps in the long run, right?
I don't know if we get any of that.
So yeah, that's cool. Like the savings between townships, and even working together. I know I dabble with my business, obviously, in municipal stuff, and I see, you either love or hate each other is pretty much it. I don't think there's much of a middle ground.
Right.
Boundaries and shared services and infrastructure and battling for the grant money and the trillium monies and all that stuff. But to see a small township and a ready-to-boom town, I think that's a win-win, because you guys have a few borders on some developments that I'm aware of that it's literally they've got the land, but you've got the services.
Yeah.
So do you hear that a lot?
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out,
what the going rate of it is.
Fair and equitable exchanges, Like, if we're going to provide this and you're going to provide that, how do we share it? And I think the fact that we're we're having these conversations, we're having these meetings, everything's on the table. There's no hidden agendas. There's no, oh, I can't believe they said that. There's none of that. That we'll come up with something fair and equitable, which is just great for the whole area. You know, what we want, what we have a definite need, we need some residential housing.
And that's one of those things that I think is universal now. People are seeing it, even with COVID.
Yeah.
With COVID, we're seeing, you know, I don't want to be negative, but we're going to see the downfall when those evictions are allowed to be lifted. I'm hearing rumors there's an apartment complex, a lower end apartment power center in Brockville. I hear close to 45% haven't paid rent in a year.
Wow.
But they're taking advantage, right? Because
Sure.
you can't evict. What's going to happen when we do it? And then we saw the Canadian government also step up, and for our youth, our kids, you know, trying to get that start in life, it's hard enough already. But now the Canadian government has said you have to qualify for 5% mortgage, whether it's 2% that you're signing for. They're weaning you getting ready,
Right.
which is telling me we're going to see between 5 and 10% mortgage rates very soon.
Interest rates?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're applying, like, I think most of us are renewing around 1.7 to
Yeah.
2.1% for your mortgage right now.
Yeah, yeah.
The Bank of Canada says you must qualify for 5%.
Oh, okay. And that's smart.
Well, they're getting ready for it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Because I think people are going to lose their shirts when
it's
the interest rate
scary.
goes to 5%.
Even today, we're going to air this in a week's time, but today's the first day open into step
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Parkdale Avenue has not stopped today. And I'm hearing reports from stores that it's super busy, but the way I described it to people is I think people are coming, which is a good thing, with their wallets wide open and no questions.
Good.
Good and bad. The construction industry is already getting hammered.
Yeah.
But we're about to get an influx of people that have been hiding for 6 months.
Yeah.
And now they're out. They're out of their cage. And even your industry with chiropractic, like, you're going to get people that were maybe a little weary because of media to come to the clinic.
I've had people that, let's say they come in for maintenance care, maybe once a month. I haven't seen them in a year and a half.
Which is bad.
Which is bad. Bad for them, you know, bad for everyone. I get being afraid, but you still need to take care of yourself.
Well, especially in your profession, because that fine tune, it's not like you crack a back and it's over.
Right.
I mean, there's maintenance, and like if there's a disc or some, you'll use the right terms. I'm not going to use the right terms. If there's a disc or like some muscle or tendon pulling on a disc that's slipping or causing some nerve or sciatica pains, you got to work that. You can't just pop it back in.
No, and you got to work it, and you got to treat the whole body as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, and the biggest thing I find, like in the last year, people are working from home. You know, they're sitting at their kitchen table. They're sitting at their
Not
sitting
very
in their
ergonomic.
bed. Yeah, not very ergonomic for 8 or 10 hours, and then they're like, "Gosh, my neck is killing me, or my back is sore. Why is that?" I'm like, "Because you're sitting at your dining room table, working on your laptop."
I was lucky. I was closed for all of 2 weeks at the very, very start.
Yeah.
And I was working from home.
Yeah,
And my neck.
I know.
But I have a high desk here. I've got like big boy certified Dave style stuff here, but at home I don't.
Right.
And so my monitor was actually about 3 inches lower.
Yeah,
And I was looking at just that 3 inches.
3 inches.
And it was numbing. I couldn't sleep. And Gord, fellow he says, he said, "What about your desk? Is everything the same?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's not. Crappy chair."
Different heights.
Exactly.
Right? Even just reaching for your phone or reaching for you know, like all that stuff isn't designed for you anymore.
Yeah.
As it is here, you know.
So regular maintenance stuff, you've seen kind of a loss of regularity, I guess, for that.
But now people are starting today will help.
Yeah.
Stage 1 will help. Stage 2
Well,
will
getting
help.
up and moving too, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly, you know, and getting out of the house, right?
So have you seen then, like with today, have you seen a bit of if the phone's lit up a little bit and people trying to get that maintenance back?
I think it's starting to come around now, you know. I think people have had enough. Like it's been a year.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The mayor of Brockville and I had a long conversation.
I bet you did.
Most people know my standpoints. I'm all about the small business guys. I mean, as much as I say, I've been fighting now for 16 months for stuff that a lot of the organizations are hearing now from CFIB and Chamber, but I was screaming it last February. I'm lucky that way. I'm very methodical and logical. Was I right? Don't know.
Yeah.
But they're calling for it now. And it's almost that too little too late type thing. But I fear for the number of small businesses that still have to wait till June 2nd. Ontario,
July 2nd.
Or July 2nd, sorry, yeah. Last night, Ford Nation and Ontario Health made a post that we're at 73% first dose.
I saw that.
That's supposed to be step 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, so they're waving, like, could you imagine you and I operating a business and waving a flag that we're open, but tell people to wait 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's...
I don't know what they're doing. I think they're trying to save face. I mean, it's got to be a PR election thing now. They just can't go backwards.
And I think they're, maybe they opened too earlier.
Oh, they did. I've been the first to say February was a mistake.
Yeah. We
should have did this in February.
Yeah.
And then it really would have been a summer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think now they're gonna, I had a discussion with a few friends the other day, and I don't think they're gonna open up before July 2nd because July 1st is a holiday, and the biggest attraction of numbers has come around holidays, right? Christmas time, Easter, whatever we had in the fall, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right?
Thanksgiving was the last bump.
Yeah. So every time we'd have one of those, but I don't know if everyone threw COVID out the window and went and
nobody can
partied
afford
it
a cup. We're all sharing a cup. That's what happens.
So, yeah, I'm hoping that, okay, you want to do it right? We're doing it right now. Let's make sure that July 2nd on we're open.
Yeah, and I think that's that 21 day. They're giving a week spare to their 14-day philosophy. Now, I'm going to blow your mind a little bit because I made a bet back when they locked us down, which would have been April.
Yeah.
I was sure it would be June 25th that they would be stage 2. And I really think Trudeau wants a stage on the 1st to act like the Messiah that saved us.
Okay. Maybe.
That man is egotistical in that sense. And he's known to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
But I really thought that was going to be it. But the numbers, they would have had to went with that Walmart opening I thought was going to happen on the Wednesday, 2 days ago compared to today. To hit that, it would have been July 1st was 21 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here we go.
Right.
It's happening.
Right.
They're going to, like, the fireworks guys on the 25th get 3 days to prepare all the orders. And, like, they can for July 1st. I thought for sure it would happen. They still might expedite it. There's
We'll
Ford
see.
Nation has taken a lot of heat from councils. Did the town write a letter?
I think we're working on a letter.
Okay. Yeah, because we called for it, and I know Edwardsburg has, Augusta has, Brockville has, Leeds and Thousand Islands has. Front of Young was one of the first. Roger was all over it, I think, as far as a warden and a mayor.
Well, I mean, I was totally in favor of the regional approach.
Yeah.
Because that seemed to work.
Yeah.
But I think what happened was you got people that were coming out of hot zones, renting a bus, and then going to Kingston and get their nails done.
But see, I don't see how that's, like, everything they do. It's like in one breath they say we're stupid and we have to do something like literally put your name on a cup.
Yeah.
But then if the solution is to put a name on your cup, they don't think it's a smart idea. So, like, driver's license check to all the clinics. Like, you have to show me a Prescott or Brockville driver's license,
Sure.
or a Leeds and Grenville driver's license to come to my salon or to my chiropractor, to my architect firm. Why not? That's what the salons have been doing all along. As you know, my wife, we've been in 2021 for now 6 months.
And she's worked 6 weeks?
3
Oh,
weeks.
God, yeah.
And there's not good margins in hairstyling.
No.
I mean, it's
especially when you can only do one person.
Well,
at a
you get
time.
talking. Right? Like, she's like, oh, this cut will take 15 minutes. And I'm like, no, you know what my sister said? And then, boom, she's like, 40 minutes later, I'm sitting in the car waiting to pick her up to go out for dinner or something. She's like, I'm sorry, we got chatting. And I'm like, yeah, but you still made $20. Like, it's not, that's not the name of the game.
I know.
It's you and I might have a clock running.
Right.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. It's a flat fee.
People come in knowing what they're going to tip and what they're going to pay.
Yeah.
It doesn't go bigger.
It doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, you could just be there to have a chat. It doesn't matter.
I remember I used to get my hair cut in town, and the gentleman, he's been there forever. He's a sweet man, but loves to chat.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I went to see him, I said, look, it was 12 o'clock. I got to be back by 2. And I was kind of joking,
2
but
hours.
I wasn't joking. Anyway, at 10 to 2, I'm like, are you serious? We're not done yet? Like, and he'd cut a few bits, and then he'd
poke around
put it down and chat, and I'm like, okay. So the next time I went in, it was like, I have an hour, and it took the hour. And maybe I'm a little daft or something, but it took me 3 or 4 times before I said, I got 10 minutes. And boom, we got cut in 10 minutes.
Yeah, 8-minute haircut after 2 hours of waiting.
Exactly.
My dad used to take us to Bernie's in the Zellers Mall.
Yeah.
We called him Bean 'em Bernie because that's all we got. Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
All 3 boys. And my dad would be there and he'd get his done. And it would, like, all of a sudden, like, we went into slow motion. And I was like, what's going on? They're shooting the shit. They're talking. They're chatting. And I remember when I started getting older, I was like, Dad, I got, like, friends to see. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to go home and sit and chat with your mother. So I found out that all these years, we got our hair cut, but it was an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, it's either that or I go home and sit with your mother for a Saturday afternoon.
Don't cut that.
Don't cut that. Yeah. No, that's what she knows it. She jokes about it. But it's one of those things that, those small town barbers that have been there forever, they've probably seen you since you were in a diaper.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Watched the hockey career as you launch through.
Yeah.
So what else should what's going on with Prescott Chiropractic and?
Oh, well, things are going well. We have the nice thing about our office is it provides full care.
Yeah.
Like we have massage therapists. We did have a couple of different physios, which was a great adjunct to working together.
Yeah.
Great for the patient. So I do every summer I hire a summer student. Not every summer. I was doing it pretty frequently, and then the last few years I've had some great summer students. My summer student from last year decided to go to chiropractic college, so I'm hoping that when she graduates in 2, 3, 4 years, she's going to come and join our clinic, and as well as another local gentleman who's just finished his second year. So there's a plan for me, maybe not to retire just yet because I got 3 kids still in school, but it's a nice way to bring people into the office.
And do they have to article under you for a bit?
No, they
hours?
No, they do their clinical hours at school.
So during the 4 or 5 years or whatever it takes, they do clinical through there.
Clinical.
But when they're out, they could literally
start
make you an offer and you can go sit on a park bench somewhere.
That would be great. Watch the river. Yeah. But no, they're coming in. I have a massage therapist from town here who's gonna join us in when she's done schooling. Just with COVID, it's so hard. Because I'm finding out that the new massage therapists, they can't even write their boards.
No, my daughter's trying to go through for it.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolute nightmare. She's been a year waiting to get into school.
Yeah.
Now she's in a private school in Ottawa somewhere that is, like, they're saying there's so much hands-on, literally, that they haven't been able to operate it.
Yeah.
And she's finally in, but she's been writing like her nutrition and her personal fitness and her CanFits and all this other stuff to add to the physio aspect.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, she's gonna have more certificates when she starts school than what they would have 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's really been hard.
Her blading too. She's like certified.
Oh yes.
Fascial tissue or facial.
Yeah, fascial tissue blading. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's certified in that now.
Good for her.
Level 2 or something.
That's Marissa.
Yeah.
Good for her. Wow.
So, and she's 19.
Yeah. Well, it's a great career choice. You know, it's hard on you, but you have to learn how to, maybe not do 12 hours a day.
Yeah,
maybe
I think she's learning that
6-7
now.
hours.
She's working with a local chiropractor, and
Good.
she comes home cranky some nights.
Well, I mean, it's a great. I love my career.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we've learned to deal with
Yeah.
people. At that age, we probably would have flipped somebody off. So she's very young going into it, and it's like, yeah, this is what we deal with.
Yeah,
like you have to just come home and smile.
that's right.
Because your wife or husband doesn't want to hear it.
No, exactly. But good for her though. At 19, it's a great career choice, and she can do with that whatever she wants. The nice thing is you're your own boss.
Yeah.
You can open your own shop. You can work for someone else. You can do whatever you want. You're in charge. You'll be as successful as you want to be. So.
Well, she'll be 2021 when she gets like September. She'll be 21, I think.
Yeah.
And on the spot doing the math for the youngest of 5, so I'm trying to remember it. But anyway, she'll be set.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, like somebody like yourself, you get these summer students, if they want to work every year and they want to invest. I mean, we don't want to retrain every year.
No.
I mean, we're more than welcome to see them stay.
Yeah. I hear you. And that's the hard part, right? Because you put all your time into them and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Right. And
But that goes for admin staff, everything. You get that fine. It's all about that fun. Well, it's funny because what we're talking about is fine motion, right? Like the body. It's to get it to the perfect motion.
Exactly.
And then you want to keep it that way. You don't want to go change something up.
No.
But
they are a breath of fresh air though too, right? Because they have different looks, and like I was in the office this morning, and I put a little project together for my summer students. Say, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to compare these two programs and see which one we need and which one would work better. And I think sometimes like the students really they step up their game for something like that. It's like, this is a project, right? As opposed to, here, go file these 100 files. You know what I mean? Give them some responsibility, give them some goals and expectations. And once they meet that, they have that sense of responsibility, a sense of accomplishment that they did. And that when I go and incorporate that project or into the office, then, hey, I did that.
they have accomplishment.
Yeah, that's you did
I
that.
hope it's one of the things of COVID we see come out. And like, I have a lot of faith in youth.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, I mean, the 2020, 2021 graduates have a stigma over their head. They have a bad rap that they didn't finish.
Didn't learn, yeah.
They didn't learn. So going forward, anyone with a graduation year, 2020, 2021, today being grad day, these kids they're down a notch to somebody else right now.
Yeah.
Mentally speaking, for people looking at a resume. I hope it gives them a drive. I hope it says, I know what I'm doing.
But I think our youth are very resilient.
Yeah.
Like,
I just hope they are.
I can't imagine you and I sitting at home for a year and a half when we were 17 or 18.
I wouldn't be at school.
I hate to say what I did when I was 17 or 18.
We weren't doing schoolwork.
I wasn't a good boy, you
No.
know? And these poor kids are being told, you can't go visit your friends. You can't have friends over. I give my daughter a lot of credit, like, to put up with that stuff. I'm grateful as a father that she was stuck at home for a year and a half at the age of 17 and 18. But man, they're gonna be stronger for it.
Yeah, I got a few friends that are like when the announcement came that they weren't going back to school, they're like, for help, like, help me God, like, why?
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up. After they leave for a week, there's gonna be so much parent separation anxiety. Like they're there to do everything.
Yeah.
And to make life fun.
Yeah.
For a year.
I know.
And then they're gone. It's almost like what my dad. You're gonna be stuck talking to your wife.
I know. Yeah, that's right. I've already had that conversation with my wife. What are we going to do in September?
Because
it looks like it looks like all the schools are going to be open back up, and
yeah, they've
kids
got
are
a pretty
gonna be
good
going back.
plan. I mean, Ontario's really the only one that doesn't have that rock solid. They're going back. Everyone else went back. I mean, Ontario's kind of that oddity in the whole thing. But I think we're just being super cautious because we've got some pretty major airports here, like more than one.
That's true.
We've got borders. We've got the second worst province right beside us. Quebec, shared border like crazy. And then New York State sitting right there. I mean, I think they're being cautious for reasons, but I don't see why. I said it in my post last night. Ontario's doing their part. The citizens. I mean, 73% in, I think we've been 2 months.
Yeah.
And we're only supposed to be at 60% by now.
Right.
They've stepped it up.
Yeah, and kudos to the public.
Yeah.
Like that's the hard part. 99% of people are wearing their masks, washing their hands, not visiting their parents, grandparents, etc. But it's the 1% that,
Has
like
that
anything,
party.
that has a party for 200 people or has a wedding, and
I'm one of those guys. I'm itching to have a party. Like, it's happening. I'm renovating my deck right now.
I saw that.
And that is for a party.
Let's
we
go.
are having a party. We've got one planned for the members here for a barbecue day.
Oh, good. I'm in.
Like, it's just when can we go?
I know, but I'm so used to going to bed at 9 o'clock. What's going to happen when
know.
we start partying?
It's one of those things that I even said to my wife. I said, I got to start having like a beer or two every night, just to recondition myself.
Exactly,
because I don't want to be that lightweight. Because that's the guy that gets photos taken
That's
of
right.
him.
Oh, look at him. 3 beers in.
Ends up with that weird photo up at the arena. No.
Sorry, Ed.
But no, it is one of those things that, I mean, I think we're all anxious to happen, but I think we've learned our lesson from February or even that Christmas, like you said, a little too much too quick.
Yeah.
No, 90% of the population's not following it because the streets are full. And I heard Winners here in Brockville was lined up right around the building.
I know my daughter's at Winners right now. She said earlier that there was like 10 people ahead of her, but she couldn't wait to get in there.
What's in there? It's got to be just clothes.
Yeah, that's all there is.
It's got to be summer
right?
fashion.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. But I mean, I don't know. I'm
fine not going.
I'm fine with the curbside too. I go to Home Depot and they just kind of load the back of the car. I don't got to get out. I play a little game or I get some emails done.
Yeah.
Click. Oh, I'm done. I can go. I hope they keep it around.
Yeah, I hope they still have curbside.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Superstore has it. Does your independent Prescott have they have those dedicated spots that you can just sit and go?
And I think that's being utilized quite a fair bit.
Yeah. I've tried it a few times now. It's pretty nice. And you don't come home with stuff you didn't like. You don't. Oh, there's a pack of donuts, or oh, there's
something you saw.
The bag of chips. No, it's not on the list.
Not on the list.
It doesn't get into the back of your car. You never saw it. It doesn't exist.
Well, I'm one of those. I like that. I love the Canadian Tire flyer.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys. Oh, Friday, here comes the flyers. Look through the flyer. Oh, I'm gonna get one of those.
Yeah, that tool you never need.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it does multifunction. I'll get one of those. Or here's a basket of stuff on sale. That sounds good, right? But when you're doing the curbside stuff, you miss out on all those.
You do. Yeah, there's no window shopping.
Yeah.
All
those. What are they
I know
called?
my wife misses that. She wants to just walk through Walmart. I'm sure she did it today.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't miss it. I'm one of those guys. I'm in and out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I've learned the lesson. Do you have the earbuds yet for your the little pods for your headphones?
Yep.
I used to think they look like broken Q-tips in people's ears, and I made fun of people all the time. But I've learned the power of those. People don't
wonderful.
even. Yeah, I don't even turn them on.
People
just come on. They just leave me alone. They think. Yeah. I just start talking to myself.
Don't tell all your secrets, eh?
Yeah, but they work, and I'm used to that. So normally I put them in because. Oh, look! See, Siri wants to go already. I put them in, and I can just rock in, rock out, and gone. That's my type of shopping. My wife hates it. She's like, "You just go into this one store, and you got a list." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm not going," because she knows there's no window shopping time. But I know a lot of people are itching to get into those stores.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a long go.
Right? Has it though?
Well, it seems like it has.
Does it? See, I said it doesn't seem like it's been going on.
Buy socks for work. I'm like, really? You don't have socks? Like,
yeah,
I'll bring you some socks. If you need socks that badly. But I don't know. I guess it's only been this last 6 weeks.
2 months, 6
weeks that we did the retail. Finally the big box stores.
Yeah, they took a big hit. Well, that's why I was pretty irate when I first heard that there was memos going out in Walmart last Friday. So we got the announcement we were opening up on Friday on Monday.
Yes.
And Steve Clark tweeted it.
Right.
But on Friday, I got 3 emails. I get inundated with emails. I got like little spies everywhere on all this stuff. 3 emails that upper management got memos from Walmart corporate that they were going to be fully open on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So they must have been brokeraging a deal. And I was like, if that comes to fruition, that proves the Ontario government
is in cahoots
with the big box retailers. Or they're being told something. Because Ontario Parks released, we have a couple campsites.
Right.
And Ontario Parks released that the 10th would start camping.
Okay.
And I'm like, that lines up with Walmart. So like, what's going on here? Well, they changed it all to the 11th.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So now I'm learning with the grace of my age, and you're a hockey guy. I was a football guy and a basketball guy. The benefits of chiropractic treatment.
Good.
Kind of like the Tin Man in Oz. It needs a little drip of oil because you just start to get rusty.
Yeah.
So I mean, athletes out there, there's hundreds, especially in Prescott, as far as hockey goes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
What are those telltale signs that they need to you can't be that tough guy anymore and ignore that little kink right at the bottom of the rib cage, or your knee is, you can tell when it's raining.
Yeah, exactly.
All that.
Well, the
stuff.
biggest thing is like performance, right?
Yeah.
If you're only working on 4 cylinders and you got a 6-cylinder engine, you're not going to be as productive.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with athletes is I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can.
Well, we have to be a tough
play
guy
through
for
this.
our
I'm going
kids,
to
right?
play through this, and I'm gonna make sure I can do this. That's not always the best answer, right? So what we try and do is make sure everyone's working well and the whole body's working well, so that they can produce and perform.
So really, if they find they're kind of half gassed, they're kind of half motion,
getting tired too quickly. Like one of the big things I'll notice is, doc, I just can't seem to have any power on my shot. Right. Well, if you're using a lot of energy to try and compensate for an injury, then you're going to run out of energy, when it comes to the second period, third period. So let's try and fix these things so that you've got a full 100% in you. So that's a couple of things that we do. And we've treated, when I first graduated in 1992, I took some more courses on sports injuries. I took a fellowship on sports injuries, a 3-year course, which was great because I love sports,
Well, you're a sports guy.
A sports guy, so I love it. Treating athletes is very rewarding and very frustrating at the same time. Rewarding when you see your player do well, but frustrating in that, Doc, when am I ready? Doc, can I play this weekend?
Or when they keep doing that thing you said to ease up on, and
don't do this.
Agitates the injury.
I get a kick out of parents that will say, "Oh, my boy's fine," and I'm like, "He's fine. Watch this. Bend over and touch your toes." I can't. Well, he's not fine. That's an easy one. But we all have these expectations that our athletes are warriors, and they can fight through this. And concussion's a big one.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting one because that's something, like I said, basketball, football, and so in grade 7, I was like a standard. I think I weighed about 150 pounds. I was 5'7".
Yeah.
Grade 8, I was 6'1", and 220.
That's a big growth.
I was like a baby deer.
Yeah.
But when I got the hang of it, I was an aggressive. I was large. Mm-hmm. People are asked like at tournaments, they're asked for my driver's license.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
And I felt that warrior instinct and that bulletproofness, but concussions never existed. They existed, but it wasn't front.
It ring your bell?
Yeah. I've been knocked out numerous times.
Yeah.
Woke up in the office.
I've seen that whole progression from, he's just had a big hit, or just got his bell rung. And to the point where now, mom and dad trainers are saying, "Oh, this kid has a concussion." I'm like, well, why don't we let the experts tell us?
But it's almost like the silent, soft ones are the ones that they're really concerned about against the ones that, he got clearly knocked out for the past 30 minutes.
It's the ones that are subtle, like you said, the silent ones where they had a head injury, but they didn't notice it. One of the worst cases.
A little bit of blurriness and a little bit of migraine type thing, and they don't realize what it is. And
there's always a little bit of a whiplash in there, right?
Yeah.
So as a chiropractor, we treat the whiplash, and they've actually proven that Sidney Crosby had a bad concussion, and they've kind of found out over the years that when he finally got treated by a chiropractor for whiplash, it resolved a lot of his concussion issues, or concussion issues, whatever it was. So they work hand in hand together, chiropractors and athletes and concussions. So you got to be so careful. And nowadays it's been proven that, taking time right after makes a big difference.
Yeah, it seems all sports now have these
protocols.
Chiropractic, but they have these chiropractic and physio trainers.
Sure they do, yeah.
And these players aren't getting massages because they're high and mighty.
No.
They're getting massages so they can get back in the game, but they're trying to loosen up the whiplash, make sure no muscles are tense, make sure nothing's out of place, maybe a shoulder got popped the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting done, and it's amazing because, like I say, as an athlete, I went right into college basketball. No, there was none of that.
No.
Just go out and unless you drop dead, keep playing.
Well, and times have changed. Right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like my oldest boy was they're both, all my kids were good athletes. Yeah. My oldest boy was well known to be a good body checker. He actually was voted top body checker in the OHL by the coaches one year. So he could provide a hit. And, now those hits are they're not allowed.
No.
Right? But back then they were encouraged. Look at Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em videos. He's made millions off all those illegal hits, right? That they promoted, that they said was fine. And now we're realizing, Jesus, that's probably not the best thing for him or the ones he delivered it to, right?
Exactly. My dad, I remember him telling me, back when he was around, I was always asking, why didn't you pursue hockey? Because coming out of Prescott, you've already got a leg up. I mean, Leo Boyven, Ben Hutton. Like Prescott's known to be a hockey central. Todd, all of them. And Wendell Clark is what, Cardinal?
Wendell Clark?
Was he not Cardinal area?
No,
or
I
he's
don't
there
think so.
now or something. Anyway, but my dad, he told me that he hit a guy and hurt him pretty good, and he quit.
Yeah.
He was just getting too big for his age, for his age group, like what I did, and he just stopped. But he did tell me he played against Leo once. Leo came out and skated with the Rangers.
Yeah.
And Dad got a chance to pop him, and he said he bounced right off him. He says it's next level.
And if I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Leo was a brick shit house.
Yeah.
You know, like he was just solid. And he was also, I think Sports Illustrated had him ranked number 2 of best hitters of all time.
Yeah. Like the guy knew how to take it and give it.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't mess with him now, you know?
Dad said he bounced right off him, and he was leveling guys.
Oh, geez.
And that cocky teenager thought for sure he's got a chance at a
Hall
legend.
of Famer.
Hall of Famer. And, he says, I don't even think Leo knows I was there.
No. Was that a bug?
Yeah, it was a fly-by bug. So it's pretty cool that way. So you see yourself with the hockey community? You see a good following of that from local?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How much treatment do the kids need?
My kids?
Yeah. Because they're both, both boys are playing pretty
they're playing high level
hockey. I see you share it all the time. It's amazing.
I try to. My oldest son, as I mentioned, Zach, he's at Ryerson University. He's entering his 4th year. And my younger son finished up 2 years ago as captain of Pembroke Junior A hockey team, and then he went to Concordia, Wisconsin last year. He ended up hurting himself down in Concordia, Wisconsin. I couldn't go see him.
Yep.
So he went to a chiropractor there, and I got the bills, $300 a visit almost, you know. And I'm like, holy smokes, maybe I'm going to move to Wisconsin at $300 a visit.
Yeah, can Prescott withstand these uprates?
No, they can't. But anyway, he saw a great chiropractor down there that got him back in the game, so that was good. And we'll rehab him this summer, so he's ready for next year, you know.
That Wisconsin chiropractor doesn't subscribe to this podcast.
Yeah.
Everything he did good, like you saw the reports and you saw the x-rays
He did
and you agreed.
Good. Yep, I was good with it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's always good to ask as a fellow chiropractor.
Yeah.
But the dad.
Yeah.
Did he do it right?
He did. He did. I was actually quite impressed. You know, I didn't want to call him, hey, what are you doing to my kid? You know?
Yeah.
But because give him his space, he's a professional. But he did a good job. My kid was happy, and my kid should know. You know, he's
been around it. You've been treating
enough.
them probably all these injuries all the way up through.
I was talking about him.
I better book Monday off.
Yeah. I was talking about him because a patient came in and said, "Oh, I just bought my 6-year-old a trampoline," and I rolled my eyes because I'm not a big fan of trampolines, mainly because I see so many injuries from trampolines, right? And I always tell the story that dropped my kid off at a birthday party when he was about 6, and I saw a trampoline in the corner of the garden, you know, or in the lawn. Come back, he had hurt himself on the trampoline, and it's like, oh, I should have known. And I'm fine with trampolines. Like a
scorpion.
Yeah, he did. He did something like that.
Human body's not meant to bend backwards, especially with a
neck.
jolt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I always say, like, you know, trampolines are fine one person. But when you get that 2 people in, and
they're trying to bounce each other,
and they're making each other with the whiplash again. So anyway,
well, it's one of those things. Like Marissa was not knocking gymnastics or anything else. My daughter, I forget what it was, but she was pretty young when she fell in love with gymnastics, and she ended up with and she's my genes, right? So she's growing very fast. She's a very muscular, strong girl.
Yeah,
crazy muscular, strong girl. Her rib cage grew in, anyway, it moved. She had to wear a brace to pull it back out.
Okay.
Like this big robotic thing she wore for like 2 years to bed every night. But they described that it was from adolescent forming of the body and torquing it when those growth spaces are there and just taking things out of a line. So with parents and stuff that are listening, have kids in hockey, baseball, all this stuff, trampoline professionals. I mean, is there stuff that they should be looking at if, like, with all athletics that they should be doing a maintenance? Because those growth cords and stuff, I mean, you mess those up.
Yeah.
It's going to be 20 years down the road.
Exactly. So the hardest part is what I find parents need to listen to their kids. Right?
Yeah.
Kids don't know what's not normal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. This.
So
yeah. Is that not normal?
Oh, I didn't know that everyone has back pain.
Yeah.
Right. So listen to your kids, and I always say too, like, especially if they're younger, have them point to where it is. So if one day they point to their elbow, and then the next day they point to their wrist, it's off. You know what I mean? Like if they're always pointing to the same spot, then you need to address it. You know. But if they're kind of like, oh, Daddy's always sore, so I'm sore too, right?
Daddy was an idiot when he was young.
But, you know, sometimes there's that mirroring where they want to be just like Daddy.
Yeah.
But I always just say it's always worth a checkup. And, you know, if you trust your chiropractor or your health professional, they'll do the right thing. And if there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong.
And I think that's another key. Just get someone you trust.
Get someone you trust. I always tell my patients, like, you want to just come in and have a chat, we can have a chat. You know, and get to know me, get to be
I tell
comfortable.
every one of my clients, we have to have a sit-down meeting first because I have to like you. And
right.
You
It
have
has
to
got to
like
go
me.
both ways. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
otherwise it's just miserable.
Yeah. And that's part of it where, you know, I've been in practice since 92, so almost 30 years. So you get look at the gray, man. But you get used to what you need to know and how to approach it.
I call it a fine-tuning of people skills.
Yes. And
Yeah, you can really read somebody like yourself. I remember clearly, and it was one of the things I was going to bring up is when I met you at the debate at the Prescott. I think it was really the first time we'd spoke.
Mm-hmm.
May have known of each other, may have heard about each other through other means. Mostly Dan for me.
Yeah.
And I felt you were gonna get elected. I think it was just right timing from everything I learned about you, that your business and your stature in the community and investment in the community had paid off enough that you were going to get that seat, but also that you were going to be somebody that would actually want to learn before voting.
Right.
So do you find yourself doing that extra homework?
Oh, for sure.
Just to make sure that you're clear.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing worse than not knowing what you're voting about, you know, or
Yeah.
not knowing the history. A lot of times, you know, the votes come down to the history, right? Oh,
Yeah.
we've tried this 3 years in a row and it hasn't worked. But why? Why hasn't it worked?
Yeah.
You know, let's look into it. What do we need to change, or what's different, or what is the pushback? Well, the pushback is money. Okay. Can we do it for...
How can we fix it?
Yeah. Okay. Then if it's too much money, then how do we work around it? You know, kind of like the rink. Okay. We can't do it for $15 million. Well, is there an infrastructure grant? There will be one. Okay, well, let's work on that. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of learning, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm on council, because you learn stuff on council. Even though I was paying taxes for 25 years, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Oh, we've got that, or oh, we still owe on that. You know, like it's going to cost us. We're paying for this, you know, water treatment center for another 20 years.
And it doesn't operate at full capacity. Yeah, like that's,
you know,
the type
stuff
of
like that
yeah.
where you go, oh, okay, we're not going to make that mistake again, you know. Or, you know, we had a rink that was 50 years old, but no one was saving for a new rink,
Or noticed it was sinking.
or noticed that it was the oldest rink in Ontario using this acid or what.
Leo makes it look young.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
As long as Leo's
right?
around, the rink's good.
So
That
little,
was the
little,
philosophy.
you know, little things like that we're now incorporating. Where, you know, I think we have a 1% infrastructure tax that we've put on, and I think there was some debate whether we were going to do it this year or last year because of COVID. But, you know, I said once you don't do it, then it's hard to do it again. So just do it.
Yeah,
People
'cause
are used to
you
it.
might as well get that uproar
Yeah,
now, and then people get used to it.
Exactly.
That's got to be the basis of municipal
Yeah.
or politics. It's just like it's going to happen, people,
It's
and you
gonna
have to
happen.
pay for the amenities.
Yeah.
We just don't, shit out money.
Well, I love people that will say, "Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" And I'm like, well, "We can, but someone's got to pay for it. You know, it's not done for free." Like we just had our union negotiations, and I was looking at like the overtime rates. And, you know, it's $90 an hour. So you want someone to come in and open the splash pad up for you, or close the splash pad. It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
It's going to cost the town, you know, a service call.
Yeah, I think we had that debate about one of the trade shows when I came in and asked for the fees to kind of be waived, and I think it was Lee brought it up, and he was like, "Well, listen, we're paying people on Sundays and Saturday nights and this and this and this."
Yeah, that's right.
He makes a good point.
And it's a really good point because people don't see it.
No,
Right? Well, I pay my taxes, and you pick up my garbage. Well, it's more than that. We plow your snow.
Right.
We keep the curbs clean. We replace the $2 million project on Dibble Street, replacing the road. You know, $2 million.
But then even with COVID and the parks cleaned, you guys couldn't let them grow wild.
No, you got to still cut them.
The guys are still going full tilt, and most of municipal facilities and even our own facilities. One of the things I learned with COVID with my wife's salon is the insurance agent. Thank God we have one that's upfront and talks to us. Like if we weren't checking every week, our insurance is null and void.
Yeah.
If you left a faucet on and you forgot, and you're like, well, it's COVID, I haven't been there in 6 months. Yeah, you're in trouble.
You're
so the rink, you got people checking on it, the parks, the splash pads, regular maintenance, and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's just more stuff I hope people learn. You know, it's almost like we're coming out of like a fast track of back in time where we're coming out of the Middle Ages and the caveman era and all this other stuff. And we've lived bare bones for 16 months, 18 months almost when we get full tilt. Businesses, municipalities, husband and wife, children. I hope everyone learns that the efficiencies have to come back into place and due progress. And I've been screaming about patience. Because I mean, you've got, you've said you've treated over 6,000 patients, but I mean, how many active patients do you roughly have in the town of Prescott? And you were talking a huge area that you serve too.
Oh yeah,
like Westport and all this, like probably in Mooresburg, right?
Yeah, we got patients come. I'll have patients that will come from Cornwall, Ottawa, Westport, but I'll try and get them like, look, let me find you someone closer by.
Do you really?
I do.
I'd have them come in.
Well, I do until I find that, look, you driving an hour each way to come see
it's
me.
Hurting what I'm saying.
It's not helping you.
You don't sell ergonomic car seats?
I'm sure I could find it.
Yeah,
but
patent pending.
Yeah. Hold that thought. But like if I can find someone that will do a good job, then just go see them. And sometimes it's arguing with a rock because, no, I'm coming to see you no matter what. And it's like,
well,
okay,
it's
fine.
true because you swear by those that you trust, right? But what I was getting at is how many of those active clients, like, do you know a rough number of how many active clients you have right now that you would see regular maintenance? Like, is it 100, 200?
Oh, I wouldn't even know because it could be
here and there, but if it's 100 clients, let's say, and 80% haven't been doing regular maintenance, and you're now reopening the practice to the new norm, and you're like, well, I better do some advertising.
Yeah.
And now you gain another 100 clients, but then the 80 come back now, you're going to get just roadblocked.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
So everyone's going to have that happen. So what do you do to start educating? Are you reaching out to the ones that need the maintenance to say, hey, listen, things are safe. We're the safest. Come on out. You need to get back to this.
And that's something we probably should do.
Yeah.
Right. But like you said, we've already, when there's a vacuum, it gets filled in.
Oh.
Right. When there's a void, it gets filled in. So those 80 people that aren't coming in, well, they've been replaced by 80 others.
See, this is that funnel that I see coming for everyone. Not to scare you. I mean, it happened to me. I've been operating now for 12 months our max is 72 clients. Yeah. I've been at like 68. And it's not good, people. Like, it's not good to be, you don't want to be full gas pedal. For that long. So, I mean, this funnel effect that's going to happen, I fear for some of these young rookies that aren't smart enough to say, I don't need that dollar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you there's a good practice in Kempville.
Yeah.
They're hurting or they're not, and you should go there.
Yeah.
I'll write your referral. Whereas those other ones that are like, yeah, I want it all.
Yeah.
You're going to get buried.
But they get overwhelmed. Right?
And then drown.
You can't do everything. No. And so you've got to pick your poisons, so to speak, and you just can't do everything. No.
Well, that's a good way to put it. One question that I'm going to ask every elected official because
Great.
I want to throw mine. I was when my dad passed, I had the paperwork filled out.
Oh.
I was gonna run probably Brockville, but I had Augusta and Brockville's paperwork filled out.
Yeah.
But then my old man passed, so it was a refocus on family.
Yeah.
So I got a year left. I asked Mr. Baker, his worship, what would you say from your lesson? Is it worth it, first and foremost, to run? If you're in the right point of your life.
Yeah, it has to be the right time. I mean, I was asked 2 2 elections before this
2 terms
election,
before.
2 terms before to run, and it wasn't the right time. Like I was on our
Didn't
regular-
even wet your whistle.
Well, it's always an honor to be asked,
Yeah.
right? Because you feel important, and it's like, oh, they want me to be a counselor. But I had to look at where my kids were. My
Yeah.
kids were very busy. What would that be? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I was also heavily involved with our regulatory college.
Right.
I was a council member there for 9 years. It involved going to Toronto probably 3 to 4 times a month. And then eventually I became president. And when you're president, I was probably going every week, maybe once or
I was
twice a
expecting
week.
to tell you the last word there. No.
Yeah, no.
You get the
There's-
minions
there's
to do it.
more, yeah, there's more work, but you're because you're the president, you're involved in every decision.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
no,
like,
I get it.
Can someone else do that? No, you got to do it. And we were in the process of getting a new home for CCO, which is, Toronto real estate's amazing to me. We got a good deal. We ended up getting a new build, a whole floor on an 8 floor building, top floor, for $11 million. Now, you talk about that 5 years ago and people around here think you're crazy, right? But now that,
It's worth $22 million now.
yeah, if not more, and it's at Yonge and Eglinton.
Yeah.
Like we're talking
Right downtown. Yeah.
So I was involved with that and getting bank rates and getting loans and
So it
anyway,
chewed up a lot of time.
is a lot of time. But then once I was done that, there was a little overlap between running for council and when my term ran out. I was ready because I dealt with council and dealt with votes and dealt with we had an $8 million budget. Guess what? Prescott has $8 million budget.
So you're used
they're
to
one
that.
and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even you said $11 million real estate. My gut just went, oh.
I know. But the best deal we ever made,
Yeah.
We have 5,000 members as a regulatory body, and Prescott has about 4,500. So there was a lot of similarities there.
That's a mini Prescott.
So I was ready to do
Yeah.
it. Now, is it worth it? It is worth it because after a certain amount of time in practice or in your business, you feel like, the community's been good to you.
Time to give back.
Time to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, we've probably done that in spades through coaching, through volunteering, through sponsorship, but this is just that next level up. So it is worth it. I don't know what Baker said. Baker's been doing it forever.
Baker said if it was, it's not like, what did he say? The best thing he said was, if you're doing it for you, don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it for your community, do it.
Yeah. And it's
You can't be self motivated. I think is
you're
what
not
he said.
doing it for the money.
No.
Okay?
Oh, it's a joke.
Because the amount of hours you put into it, it's not for the money.
So you're gonna run again?
I was wondering if you're going to ask that question.
Jason said flat out no. If you want his answer first,
I knew. I've been teasing Jason because we'd like to see him run again because I think he's doing a fantastic job.
I think he's right. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
I think he's had that long run. He took one for the team when he ran this time.
Yeah.
It was a strategic, not for him, for the community reason to run.
Yeah.
And
But his life has changed now. I mean, owning Ketchum, it's
plus, I mean, that's why I'm asking is if you'd run again. Like I'm sure when Brett finally mans up and comes to the table here and I can interview him, it's the same thing. Is this past 18 months, like Jason's come under scrutiny. Social media, I'm sure everyone has in some way, shape, or form. Why is the town not doing this? It's all your fault.
Yeah.
So Jason had reserves about that. He didn't realize how much jump from council to mayor the scrutiny grew.
Yeah. He does a great job of answering the question.
He does.
Like he doesn't beat around the bush or
No.
say I'll get back to you. He answers the question. And that's his 20 years in politics behind him.
Yeah.
Well,
I said to you before this, and I've said to a few people that have asked. I mean, I never have spoken to Jason short of at events, shake hands type thing. Didn't know much about him, and I'll give him kudos. He's the first and only mayor to man up and come sit at this table.
Wow.
And he didn't know what to expect, and it was an amazing interview. And I grew respect for him.
Yeah. No, every now and then I'll call him because to get advice from him.
Yep.
And he's full of advice.
Yeah.
And it's good, sound advice.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to run again, likely I will run again. I just don't know what capacity yet. you know.
Ooh,
We'll see.
cliffhanger. I like that.
I did have a discussion with my wife the other day, and she was like, how can you do this with your time? But how I've answered that question to others is successful people manage their time better.
I say it to everyone. Everyone thinks I'm batshit crazy with the amount of stuff I do.
Yeah.
And I sleep good at night.
You sleep good at night. You get stuff done.
And I have tons of time with my family, my wife. We have a great life.
Work. You make it work.
It's just people that dwindle over this one decision.
Yeah.
No. Yes, no.
Yes, no. Cross it off. Move on to the next.
Yeah, I've got an application for a podcast affiliate. Let's just blow through it.
Yeah.
And send it to Dave.
I mean, it sat on my desk for a couple of days, but you did say 48 hours. So I'm like,
I think I emailed it to you probably about 18 times in the past year that we've had the Pros Talk. No.
No. But
that's it's one of those things that I hope you still run, because I do think you got a level head. I think you've got something about you that the community can strive from, and I'm not just saying that, I mean it. I followed the Prescott election really close, and the Brockville one as well. I think there was a good shift. There's a lot of good changes. There's a lot of good stuff. I'm a huge fan of Brett.
He does a good job.
He not for himself.
No. And he works really hard. Yep. I believe he's got the town's best interest at heart, and he's done a great job. Like,
I have never called that man and him not respond with the best interest of the town and shown up.
Yep. So I think our council is a good group right now. We have Zoom meetings are hard. Like, I find Zoom meetings. Are you over it? I'm over it. I'm ready. I'm enjoying this, actually. Just
it's crazy
talking to someone.
Nobody has shown resistance to this. They've wanted all along to just have that intimate, general conversation. I know you joked we wouldn't go long. I mean, we're pushing an hour. I guarantee.
I know. I can't believe it.
You were I'll be in it at 40.
Well, I've never been a great public speaker.
115.
Oh wow. So, but it's a good experience. Yeah. Like, I would do it. Like I said, that story about the bench earlier. That's the kind of thing, again.
Those are the wins.
There's the goosebumps again.
Yeah.
So if it's giving me goosebumps, then I've done something good. You know what I mean? And it's rewarding that way. Not for me, for that gentleman.
See, my heartstring is youth.
Yeah.
I've done in 7 years at least one a year package to kids that have reached out and said, I want to be an architect when I grow up.
Nice.
And I have literally given them a $500 starter to school and just a basket of all the rulers and the stuff that you need.
Nice.
And Annable design swag and all this other stuff. None have ever come to work for me. But that's my trigger. So I'm worried that when I go to council, there's just not enough with youth. I want benches for youth. I want that story.
Yeah. Well, look at what we did. We put a splash pad in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. It'd be scary if Dave got in his bathing suit, though, and went down to the splash pad.
I'd pay for that. I'd get one of these GoPros and put it on my head to watch that.
Just follow me around.
But
laugh about my rink photo, will you?
Yeah. But there's lots of ways you can promote youth. We had Connect Youth came by.
Yes.
And they did a little presentation last week, and you realize, what did they do? They just got an RV because for some youth that are in danger or something like that, then they've got an RV now. There's some safety for them.
Yeah, we did a tiny home project like that in Kempville that was for troubled youth.
So there's lots of ways of using your position, not using your position, but helping out.
That's good to know, because it's a growing concern, and we talk about it at the top. There's going to be some homelessness.
Yeah.
There's going to be some negative, like whiplash. Mm-hmm. Use your professional term. There's going to be some whiplash to COVID, and I don't think anyone knows what it's going to be or how bad.
But it's going to be.
But there's going to be something. There's going to be repercussions. The amount of companies that have retooled themselves, I think it's ingenious. But how many didn't prepare to retool?
Right. The repercussions of this will last.
Yeah.
A decade.
Yeah. Well, some people, small businesses call and they're like, "Should we take the SEBA loan?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, it's your great grandchild. Are you ever going to meet them?"
Yeah.
We're not going to have to repay this. Now, little birdies starting to chirp that it's going to turn into a grant, which I think will save, but that's not going to help the budget.
Right.
Like if the town decided to bail out people and then all of a sudden said, we're going to incur those costs.
Right.
Do the math, people. Your taxes are going to go up at some point. You can't assume debt.
I know we've helped out a bunch of the local organizations.
Yeah.
You know, from the curling club, the soccer club, the
The
hockey.
curling club had a lot. We get an update at the Augusta Council for that.
Yeah. You know,
Gary?
now, just recently it was a lawn bowling club, right? You know, no one's been taking care of it for a year and a half. There's some work that needs to be done there. So,
does the Ontario government have money for the municipal because they know you've got heartstrings? Are they having heartstrings to help you?
And that's one of the things that was brought up at our last meeting. We have some money that was,
Because of the state of emergency or whatever?
Yeah. Earmarked to us for COVID. So we're turning that over to the small groups that need it, like the Legion, one of the, the Legion has no money coming in at all. And usually
they were all hit hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if they pay taxes or not, but we've waived that, so little things like that are helping everybody.
And you did a big mask program too. I know I worked with Dana on the mask program.
Yeah, where we gave masks to a lot of the businesses.
Yeah, and we jumped in to buy for our members.
Good.
In on your program.
Yeah, no, and we paid a lot in the beginning, but you had to.
Yeah, the price did come down quite a bit.
And
now we've got a plan. Somebody said to me that they're not going to release the restrictions until we pay for the mask, the N95 mask plant now, because it's up and running and it's going full tilt. But now they're like, now we don't need you.
So that makes you wonder if you're ever going to get rid of the masks.
I don't think we are. I've told people 3 years.
But you watch TV.
Oh, 4 hours away, man. We've got sporting events, and I'm a UFC guy.
Yeah, 50,000 people.
They're knocking the tar out of each other. There's more than spit, and they're not getting sick.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, this whole, the conspiracy is starting to come out now that this is genetic, lab made. It was not a bat that migrated to a human. And Asia, they've been testing stuff like this for a long time in China, and they've been masked up for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, you go to Toronto even, and you see some of the culture, they have them on. They wear them because they're looking at us like we're nuts.
Well, you look at it like maybe all the hand washing, the sanitizing, the masks has helped us with the flu.
Well, yeah, because I know the reports came out. There was literally 1% of flu cases last year. There was none.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's... I've always said I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Yeah. COVID was real. Absolutely. It was real.
Yeah.
Is it real? I don't think so.
Right.
I think it's
Is there going to be something else next year?
Well, they're already saying fourth wave.
Yeah.
I mean, the longer they prolong this stepped opening, that's why one of the reasons I started advocating against the August dates is I do not want them giving us only 3 weeks till flu season.
Yeah.
We need to prove that this is gone.
Yeah.
And that September is a new day. We cannot be let loose in September and pay the cost for winter, fall temperatures. And people, I'm a short guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I get hot. I want to wear shorts. I push it to October. I drive with my Jeep with the top off into October. I always say I want to make my birthday.
Right.
Last year, I think it was 4 degrees. I had a toque, a hoodie, and I was in my Jeep with the top off. I'm doing it, but I'm going to get sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't COVID.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the masks, I think we're gonna have to deal with the masks. I hope the sanitizer we can kind of lay off on, because I don't think that's healthy to be constant. We all have to eat mud when we're
some
little.
germs, right?
Yeah, you need some, because otherwise we're just gonna end up with what I call this low immune, weak society.
Allergies and everything like that.
The kids are gonna get sick with stuff they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
You gotta eat dirt when you're a kid. It's just part of it.
And there's none of that these days.
No, because well, they're wiping your tongue with it and everything. I don't know. I think that stuff's going to come around. But I think, in a nutshell, what I've been telling a lot of people is small business is going to benefit from this. I think we've been brought into the spotlight. What you and I do for a community, for the hockey community, for the kids, for the council, all this other stuff, we're going to be brought into a spotlight. And I think we're learning more. Mm-hmm. Efficiencies, smaller workforce, some people learning to just take life a little slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are going to go back to work and be in the office for, those 40-hour weeks or more and realize they're missing 5-10 minutes with their kid.
Right.
They're going to take a 2-hour lunch. Right. I think that's going to be the lesson, and I think we need it just to slow down.
Well, if there's good lessons to be learned, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we can't keep going at this pace.
We can't. Like I remember that last year when we were off for emergency treatment only, and I was working 2 half days. I think I was working Monday morning and Thursday afternoon. So I had from Monday afternoon till Thursday afternoon off. I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can only.
Yeah, you're probably like me. You're not a guy that likes to sit still.
And that went on for. I think it went on 8 to 10 weeks, maybe 10 to 12 weeks. And, if this is what retirement's like, I'm not in,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep working.
Yeah. You're not ready for it.
Yeah. So I can imagine I'm not the only one that felt that way.
Well, and you said kids in university.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out of this stage. Marissa's, she's the last one. We have 4 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
But we're kind of out of that stage. So for me to slow down, I don't have as much. I got ahead in life.
Right.
I remember getting teased for having kids when I was 20, but I was like, yeah, but you're going to be throwing a football at 60.
That's right.
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I'm going to be on a little island called Tahiti.
I'll be right there.
Yeah, but it's people are gonna miss that stuff, but then the ones that, like I said, those ones that were sitting there, hopefully we're learning efficiencies, maybe digging into a company of stuff you've been complacent for because you were too busy.
Yep.
And I'm optimistic. I think small business is going to come out and be one hell of a reckoning force.
Well, I do like the fact that the majority of the public have been very supportive of small business. I know at Christmas time I tried to buy a lot of gift certificates in town from all the restaurants and stuff like that. And I can only eat out so many times.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I've people have had COVID weight. I've got COVID bowling balls.
Well, I mean, we have some of I have a patient that bought a new chip truck.
Yeah.
So I went there the other day, and she's like, I was wondering when you were going to come in. And I'm thinking, goodness, there's 4 chip trucks in town now.
This
like
is the brand new one.
I can't visit all of them. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I had to go out too. I was like, I don't want to be.
I said, I love you, but I can't have poutine twice a week. You know what I mean? My wife will kill me.
Yeah. If the poutine doesn't.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Never mind whiplash and concussions.
But I don't know. I just see I think small business. We've always been the root. But I think the spotlight we had a chance to shine. But I've also told people all the time that I don't care how many times you elect a male prime minister or a male president, women drive the world. And this is what happens when you let them go gray because you close their hairstylists.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And the fury's going to happen. They're like, let them open. Nobody was screaming to have architects and chiropractors open.
No.
They want the nail parlors, the hair salons. These women, like my wife, I didn't know she was like gray. She can go gray in an instant. So I was like, A, how much of our inventory are we using a month to keep you as stunning as you are? And then B, I feel like I was duped.
Yeah. Wait a second.
I wear mine on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's right.
Mine are here.
Yeah.
What's going on? And she's like, none of your business. It just turned total demonic, and she's like, just stay in your lane.
I remember one time I had mentioned to my wife that I noticed a patient had changed her hair color.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, you didn't say anything, did you? I said, yeah. I said, I really like your new hair color. She goes, Gauri, that's one thing you never say to a woman. And I'm like, but why? I said, most of these women, their husbands don't even notice when they change their hair color, So, but
try being married to a hairstylist, man. She comes home like every other week with a different. I lose track. It's like, oh, you're still a redhead. It's auburn. I was like,
oh, sorry,
yeah, sorry. Like, but she's constantly. But if she's flaunting it in front of me, I know something happened. I was like, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, bud. Well, that's it. So that was pretty painless.
Yeah, it
you made
bad.
it through all the nerves.
I didn't
think I can talk Dan
much.
into doing this now.
I think we should. Dan, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm working with him in Troy, and I said to him the other day, I was like, "You're turning into like a hermit." He's getting like Grizzly Adams going, and
He's got the big beard, I think.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
And I've seen him a few times on and off. He's a great guy. Great friends now. But I'm like, what was it? Oh, we were on the phone call the other day, and it was like, I got to go. One of the kids, like at school, he's Mr. Baum now.
Oh, right.
And it's like he's gonna be one of those guys I'm talking about that's gonna have separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Because those kids, he's got really little ones, but they're on him. He's there for school, after school, all day. I'm like, what are you gonna do when you get an office?
Yeah.
You're done, brother. They're gonna have their own room at the office.
Just to keep them going.
Just to
right?
keep him going.
Yeah.
But that separation anxiety, I don't think he's ready for it.
I don't think a lot of people. I think some people are ready for it.
Yeah.
Mm,
I'm ready for. I'm like you. Like, this feels good. I've been
Yeah.
doing this all along. It's been my breath of fresh air. I have another podcast, same thing. I've been doing it, but I am long overdue for a beer on a patio.
I know. Maybe today.
Sounds good, brother.
All
Thanks
right,
again.
man. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Pros Talk, an SME podcast, hosted by Dave Annable from Canada Approved Professionals, Inc. For more information, visit www.ontapproved.ca. The Pros Talk is an Ontario Approved Professionals production. Special thanks to DCE Media Productions, dcemediaproductions.ca. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe on any of the available platforms.